Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my beautiful people. This is your host, Allie, and today's topic is going to be on self care. Now, what exactly is self care, right? Like, what does that even look like? Honestly, that looks different for a lot of different people. Some people might be doing something similar, but it's honestly what you enjoy doing that helps maintain your well being and your personal health and development as a human being. In other words, it's good for your soul. And even though I'm gonna mostly refer here as college students, keep in mind self-care is for anyone and everyone that is a human. So as college students, I believe that it's difficult to practice self-care. All college students are different with who they are as a person and the roles that they have to do because of their current path in life, meaning that, just because they're in the same major doesn't mean that they're going to have the same outcome in life. For me personally, I know one extremely difficult semester I took, I ended up taking a yoga meditation class and called that my self-care because I had so much going on that semester. I literally did not, when I would set up my weeks, I did not see any time frame that I could manage my self-care but still, get an appropriate amount of sleep. And by that I mean like at least 4 hours of sleep. And I just thought that maybe I might enjoy it. Like before that class, I never really did yoga before. I did meditation before and have been doing it for a good minute, but I've never tried yoga because it looked too difficult to me. And honestly, like growing up, I was a chubby kid, so I was like, that might not be for me. I don't believe that I did the wrong choice when I did that because, like I said, self-care does look different for everyone and everyone implements it in different types of ways in their life. Sometimes that looks like, being by yourself and going down the street to get a cup of coffee. That could be, deciding to go running for the first time after like not doing anything for like a week or so. That could be picking up and reading like that book you didn't finish from last summer. It could honestly like look like anything. And I might, it's like I said, it's different for everyone. I might like yoga, but my friend might like going to go rock climb, to go in self-care and heal and get himself out of his head. My other friend might like taking a drive in her car, even though gas is expensive, taking a drive in her car just to kind of like get away from it all and kind of get some time for herself. My other friend might enjoy, playing PC games, by himself and like facing strangers because he doesn't want to deal with his friends at the moment. My fiance might enjoy playing his Xbox games as self-care because he wants to get out like some frustration from work, and that's what he uses as an outlet. It looks really, really, really different for everyone. The difficult part of self-care is like being able to find what works for you, and honestly, not what you end up finding is not gonna necessarily work for you like 6 months down the line, 9 months down the line, a year down from the line. Because for me personally, I know last semester in fall, what worked for me was, watching YouTube videos and getting back into like watching the beauty channels and the beauty drama channels that are on YouTube, because I used to, do that, way back when, way before I even started college. I know the semester before that, it was watching Netflix and binge watching my DC shows and watching all the creepy shows that were on Netflix. That was like my thing, like last spring semester. The time before that, it was, I think, going out into nature. So as you could see, just with the examples I gave you from what I've done, it does change depending on what your life ends up looking like within those moments that you choose to do those self-care. As someone who has a lot on their plate, and I'm talking me personally, I'm not seeing, anyone else or any of you that might be listening. For me, that I have a lot of things on my plate. I know it's extreme. Finding things are extremely difficult for me because, as I said, like, it doesn't always work. Like, I think like last week, what my self-care was like literally rewatching the same videos on YouTube all day. The way, like, and back when, holiday, I was working in the holiday, like literally listening to regular rock music and regular pop music and not Christmas music was my self-care, because I had to deal with Christmas music in the store for all of my 8-hour shifts, and that could drive someone crazy. I'm just saying, they should stop doing that. Another thing that I wanted to mention was, in order to function in life, self-care is needed. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of people don't do it because they don't know what self-care is. And some people even think that, like, self-care is just, like, a silly excuse to, be lazy. And that's not the case at all. Like, everyone has different capabilities, All of us are going through something different in life, whether we're talking about it or not. And self-care is a necessity because it does help you feel better. Like, I don't know how many times my freshman year in high school, like, I was literally on the go all the time. I didn't take any time for myself, and I was like an emotional wreck, but because of, my past, I didn't necessarily know how to deal with it at the time. So there was times where, like, I gave too much attitude, or like I just wasn't talking to anyone, and that was extremely unhealthy for me to do. And I just feel like, not necessarily with this generation, but with young people now, I feel like a lot of them don't know, how to deal with certain things. So of course they're gonna act out, and instead of trying to help them find, and by them I mean like their parents or their guardians or like administrators or whoever notices like their behavior, instead of trying to help them find an outlet for that behavior, they end up being punished, which kind of like represses those feelings even more, which causes even more problems in the future. And that's not what we're supposed to be doing, I feel. And again, I'm talking like from my experiences, because I have noticed that, like, also with my daughter, like, if I change her direction, she doesn't act out. Or if she does, it's not, like, as bad as, like, me just yelling at her because she is acting a certain way, instead of trying to figure out a way to, like, solve whatever problems in front of her. I think as young people, striving for a major goal, whether that is to find your favorite career, to figure out what you love to do, even just finishing college, I think it's especially for us that we should listen to, the influencers of the world and professional motivators, in order to be motivated to do that. However, I do think the message that we get is to, be aggressive and be completely obsessed and be in love with our goal. However, personally, from all the ones I listen to, because, even I listen to them in order to stay motivated, I think the big message of X, Y, and Z is to be successful, and that lacks the idea of being successful, like, also means to love yourself even on the hard days. And that's kind of where the self-care would play into your life, if that makes sense, because once you figure out how to love yourself, and it's gonna be hard to love yourself, mostly because we are human, and we are automatically very competitive with the people that we know, even if it is just our sisters. So that right there is going to make it really hard for you to love yourself. And it's okay to, one day, you put on all the glam and you put on all the, like, great clothes, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to kill it. And then, 5 minutes later, you're like, oh my God, why did I wear all this? I feel very insecure. And it's okay to feel like that, especially when in your head, you feel like you didn't look as good as you thought you did. But again, that is where the self-care would come in. So that could look like, wearing the great outfit, but then going to get your nails done because you feel like maybe like that's what was missing, or, you know, deciding to wear your nicer pair of dress shoes to match the slacks that, you know, you decided to wear that day, or even just deciding to, you know, get a different cup of coffee because the same cup of coffee doesn't feel the same anymore. Those are small examples of like everyday self-care type of things that a lot of people look over, you know? So as young people, you know, or just as people as general with different lives, I do urge you to just make the effort to practice self-care. You know, as I pointed out throughout the whole podcast, it could literally look like anything. It could, you know, deciding to go hiking with your friends, going hiking by yourself, deciding to go work out, deciding to do yoga and meditation, deciding to read a book for like 40 minutes, doing the decision to, you know, watch that Netflix episode and putting an alarm on your phone so that you can get back to work after. It could literally be taking a nap because sometimes we don't sleep enough, or at least as much as our body would want us to. It could be deciding to eat that salad that day because, you know, the past 5 days you've been eating burgers. It could be taking a moment to laugh, like actually laugh at that funny meme that you saw on Instagram because it was funny. You can't hold it in. It could be, you know, sitting down and doing like a body scan and recognizing the emotions you have in order to better understand yourself. It could literally be anything. Now, to close out this wonderful podcast, I just want you to, for this week, any day of the week, at any time, just try something for self-care. It could be anything. It could even be stuff that I didn't list out during this podcast, you know? And then tell me how it went on it, whether that be in the comment section, whether you guys want to DM me personally. It doesn't matter. Let me know how practicing self-care helped you out that day, and, you know, even if it didn't help you, how weird it felt because you never realized how much importance it has on your life. Literally anything. And that is it. So we'll see you next time on My Beautiful People. This was your host, Ali, and I hope you have a great day.